college football playoffs making some noise today, announcing that they're getting rid of the top 4 seeds for conference winners, and they're just going to go to straight seeding. That's interesting for a number of reasons. For one thing, this year, what that would have meant was the only team that would have really gotten the shaft would have been Arizona State. They win the Big 12, so they one of the highest ranked 4 conference winners. So they got one of the buys, got one of the top 4 seeds, and they were the 4 seed. But if this were in play, they wouldn't have automatically moved up. So rather than being in the Peach Bowl and squaring off against Texas in the second round, they would have been the 11 seed, and they would have been playing Ohio State as the 6 seed for the right to then move on to go play Texas. They wouldn't have gotten the bye, and it would have been a very rough, difficult, challenging road at that point. Not that playing Texas in the second round isn't any better, but you lose a lot of that value of winning the conference winner. Now, this was clearly pushed by everybody within the SEC, within the Big Ten, who had so many teams in the conference, they felt like they should have been higher seeds and not punished for just winning the conference championship. College football playoff initially really wanted to keep the value in winning a conference championship, and they wanted to have that mean something. But ultimately, those other schools won out, the SEC, the Big Ten. I tend to side with the SEC and Big Ten on this. Like, part of it is perspective, part of it is who's bringing in the money and some things, but also college basketball does it like this. The highest seeds, no matter what, are just where you were ranked. It's not by conference winner. Are we going to pretend like the college basketball tournament, like NCAA tournament, is not the greatest tournament in the world? It's amazing. And they seem to have figured out something there and made it right. I just feel like I understand it's partly subjective on how teams look and the rankings and stuff like that. But rankings should value more than anything. And if you just win your games, you're going to be up there. There are other conferences that this is going to, the American for a hot second looked like they might be able to get one of their military schools in there. Navy was flirting with the idea. It's really hard to imagine that Navy ever gets into a top 12 ranking nationally to get in. But there was a chance that they could have been 15, 16, and still been the highest ranked, better than the Big 12. The Big 12 was having a down year. So all those smaller conferences, it just became a little bit harder for you to get in. Not a lot, a little bit. But more so once you get in, you're no longer just rewarded for getting in. Like, they're going to make you work for it and prove it. I don't hate it. I know it's rough and disappointing for Arizona State because they were the test dummy for it, and it was their opportunity to show something. And they really did. They should have beat Texas. But again, like basketball does it. It works pretty well for basketball. Those games look like they're seeded the right way, and it's amazing. Still got to go out and win games. And I think it'll matter a lot less once they expand the playoffs, which inevitably is going to happen. If they go to 16 teams and there's no buys, okay, like, who cares anymore, really, at that point? Like, just beat the team that's in front of you. So, a little bit nice for the SEC, a little bit nice for the Big Ten, hurts a little bit for the Big 12. And, ACC, we'll see what happened with them if they get a bounce back year in football. But it's also kind of justified. There's a reason the SEC has its reputation. There's a reason the Big Ten got, known as like the number 1A or 1B school football this year. Like, they've been having a crazy run too. It's been a while since we really felt like the Big 12 was really, truly relevant. I know they've had some nice runs, TCU making it to the national title, but there hasn't been anything consistent really there for a while, it feels like. So, feels like an obvious right move to make. Kind of rough, kind of sucks for ASU. At least it didn't happen this year. But as long as you get into the playoffs, as long as it's not somewhere that it's just better than what some people had been proposing, that every conference has a minimum and then it was dictated off of that conference. So they were going to say that the SEC was going to get 4 teams no matter what. The Big 12 was going to get 4 teams. That feels wrong. Leave it up for the voters. Leave it up for the committee to just determine who are the best teams and then seed them according to that. That feels fine for me. It also would have had Boise State going down to the 9 seed. It would have had Clemson going to, the 12 seed. There was a lot of movement that would have been going on with it, which is fine. I think that was the way that it probably should have been. But just don't do that other proposal where it's going to be a minimum number of teams for certain conferences that right now are the best conferences, but that's not to say that next year they're going to be the same way. Every year should be its own year. Every team should be ranked off of what they've done that year. Pretty simple. Let me know what y'all think.